So I was like, let's clean. And I was like, well, I need to pack up all this stuff anyway. So, whatever. Don't leave you. Okay, let's get our blogger. Just playing with one of her books. Because I think that the books I have is really cute, so. Sleep, eat, or sleep. There. Better Home and Gardens. Storybook. James is watching Archer. Are you sure that's a good show to watch during the day while she's up?
That would be about, yeah.
To the Children. Once upon a time.
I'm watching, do you?
I thought it was Archer.
No. Archer's definitely not a good show to watch.
I don't even know what Cowboy Bebop is.
I know, because you don't watch any of the stuff I watch. It's a really good show, and you missed a whole bunch of awesome things by not watching it with me. Okay. You'll never ever get to see them now.
Yes, I will. How are you watching TV?
What?
How are you watching TV?
Because there's more websites than the ones you fucked up by losing my card.
Oh. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who loved stories and pictures and rhymes, and he liked to sit on my lap while I read to him. Sometimes we read stories and poems, and sometimes we just looked at pictures and talked about them. We had plenty of storybooks and plenty of picture books, but never enough books with plenty of stories and pictures both. After a while, there was a little girl, and she grew old enough to look at pictures and listen to the stories.
Wow,
she liked the same ones the little boy had always loved, and he never seemed to tire of hearing the same stories over and over. He came to know most of them by heart, and he liked to pretend he was reading to the little girl. We often wished we had our favorite stories and poems and pictures all in one book. So for a long time we played a choosing game, and finally decided which ones we liked the very most. Here are, oh, best beloved, as Mr. Kipling would say, many of our favorites, and many with the same pictures that were originally published with them. I hope you find your favorites here too, and that you'll have many happy hours with this storybook.
Sure.
Betty O'Connor.
Sure. What?
Storybook. Yeah, isn't that sweet?
Sure.
Want to read The Little Red Hen?
Huh?
Want to sit on his lap?
Yeah.
Okay. The Little Red Hen. Once upon a time, there was a little red hen who lived in a little house on the edge of a big forest. She would cook. Isn't this storybook cute? And it's not just this. It's, it goes through the, obviously everyone knows the story of the Little Red Hen, where she doesn't get any help. She gets fed up with the fox takes her, and then she comes back home and she forgives her roommates, and they all eat the cake together. But, look at this. Lines and squares. And then the alphabet. Isn't this a crazy cute book? We've had this book for a while.
Oh, someone hit that.
So. And I don't know if you see it or not, but it has, these are actually rhymes with it. So it has all the names of the rhymes. Like A was once an apple pie. Piddly widdly tiddly diddly, nicely inside apple pie. B was once a little bear. Berry wary hairy, berry take carry little bear. C was a little cake. Cakey, bakey, makey, cakey, take cakey, little cake. D was once a little doll. Dolly, Molly, Polly, Nolly. Nursery doll, little doll. E was once a little eel. Eel, eely, wheely, pilly, elly. Twilly, tweedly, little eel. You want that book instead?
Yeah.
I see, I find this book adorable. He doesn't like it. So it's okay. Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin. Once upon a time, there was a poor miller who had a beautiful daughter. One morning, the king came riding by. He stopped to talk to the miller. The miller wanted to say something interesting, and he said, "King, I have a daughter." "I suppose she is beautiful," said the king. "Oh, yes, she is beautiful," the miller said. "But she is more than that. My daughter can spin straw into gold." "Spin straw into gold," said the king. Well, tell your daughter to come to me this evening." That evening, the miller daughters came to the king. The king took her into a little room. There was nothing in the room but a heap of straw, a chair, and a spinning wheel. "Now spin," said the king. "If you do not spin all the straw into gold by morning, you must die." Oh no. The king locked the door and went away. Now the poor miller's daughter was all alone. She really did not know how to spin straw into gold. She did not know what to do, so she began to cry. Could you be crying too? Suddenly the door opened and a little tiny man came inside. "Good evening, miller's daughter," he said. "Why are you crying?" "Oh," she said, "oh, the king told me to spin all this straw into gold. If it's not done by morning, I must die." "What will you give me if I do it for you?" the little man asked. "I will give you my necklace," said the miller's daughter. The little man took the necklace and he sat down at the spinning wheel. Whirl, whirl, whirl. 3 times he whirled the wheel and the work was done. Now the heap of straw was a heap of gold, and the little man went away. As soon as the sun was up, the king came in. He looked at the heap of gold. The king was pleased. "You have done well," he said to the miller's daughter. "Now I need more gold than that." That evening the king took the miller's daughter into a bigger room. There was nothing in that room but a chair, a spinning wheel, and a great big heap of straw. "Now spin," said the king. "If you do not spin all this straw into gold by morning, you must die." Isn't that an awful threat? Like, really, you must die. The king locked the door and went away. Again, the poor miller's daughter was all alone. She looked at the straw. She did not know what to do, so she began to cry. Again, the door opened, and the little man came in. "Good evening, miller's daughter," he said. "What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold?" "I will give you my ring," said the miller's daughter. The little man took the ring. Then he sat down at the spinning wheel. Whirl, whirl, whirl. 3 times he whirled in the wheel, and the work was done. Now that great big heap of straw was a great big heap of gold, and the little man went away. As soon as the sun came up, the king came in. He looked at the great big heap of gold, and he was pleased. "You have done well," he said to the miller's daughter, "but I need more gold than that." That evening the king took the miller's daughter into a very big room. There was nothing in that room but a chair, a spinning wheel, and heaps and heaps of straw. "Now spin," said the king. "If you spin all this straw into gold by morning, you will be my wife." And the king locked the door and went away. When the miller's daughter was all alone, the little man came again. Again he said, "Good evening, miller's daughter. What will you give me if I spin all this straw into gold?" "I gave you my necklace," she said. "I gave you my ring. I have nothing left to give to you." "Nothing?" the little man asked. "Nothing," said the miller's daughter, as she began to cry. "Don't cry, miller's daughter." The little man said, "I will help you, but you must promise to give me something. Anything you ask," she cried. "Then promise me," the little man said. "Promise me that when you are queen, and you will give me your first baby." Yes, I promise," said the miller's daughter. And she thought, who knows if I really shall be queen? And if I am queen, who knows if I shall have a baby? Yes, she said again, "I promise." The little man sat down at the spinning wheel. Whirl, 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 3 times he whirled the wheel, and the work was done. Now these heaps and heaps of straw were heaps and heaps of gold, and the little man went away. As soon as the sun was up, the king came in. He looked at the heaps and heaps of gold, and the king was very pleased. He looked at the miller's beautiful daughter. "My dear," said the king, "you will be married by this very day." And the miller's daughter became queen. A year later, the king and queen had a beautiful baby. One evening, the queen was in her room playing with her baby. Suddenly, the little man came into her room. "Good evening, queen," he said. "Now give me what you promised." The queen had forgotten the little man. She had forgotten her promise, too. "What promise?" she asked. "You promised to give me your first baby," said the little man. She just went through 10 months of work, maybe 9 months of work, depending on how long she was in a family way, and then she had this beautiful baby, and he's just like, "Give it to me." You think she should give him the baby? What do you think?
Baby.
Yeah, you think she should give him away? No, right? So the baby stays with the mama. The baby always stays with mama.
Mama.
Yeah, the baby always stays with mama. Mama has to feed the baby and clothe the baby and change the baby and take good care of the baby. "I cannot give you my baby," said the queen. "I will give you my golden necklace." But the little man shook his
This is
head.
probably one of the best episodes of the show, too.
What?
Book? Mama finished reading it?
No.
No book. Okay.
Mama.
You want to read this book?
Mama.
Yeah, I found 3 books. I have no idea where they came from. I'm going to give them away. Granted, I bring home a lot of books, but these 3 books are just a no. I'll show them off a little bit. She could cook, and she could sew, and she swept and dusted the little house every day. She had a garden where she planted corn and potatoes and peas and sunflowers. With that little red hen lived a cat and a rat and a mouse. The little red hen cooked their meals and took good care of them, but they were very lazy and never did anything to help her. One morning the sun came up bright and early and woke the little red hen. She popped out of bed and prepared the breakfast. This book. Okay. Oh, my baby. Shook his head. "You may have all the riches of all the kingdom," she said, "but let me keep my baby." Milk, that's right, milk. "No, queen," said the little man, "the baby is dearest to me than all the riches of the world." Milk, that's right, you're drinking milk. Then the queen began to cry. The little man looked at the queen. "I will give you 3 days," he said. "If in 3 days you know my name, you may keep your baby. I will come every evening for 3 evenings. Each time I will ask if you know my name. The little man went away.
Book.
Mama wants to read you the rest of the book.
Mama book.
No more book for Mama?
Mama
Are you wet? Are you in your diaper?
Mama book.
Mama book.
Mama book.
Alright, I guess that's it for our update. This is what we're doing. We're not really too much.
Mama book.
Mama book.
Mama book.
Oh, she had me play with this earlier. I don't know where the Frogger book is, so.
4.
Frogger! Let's go, Froggy. Where are you going? Can you see me? Hi, baby. I am the little frog going hop, hop, hop. Where is my Karina friend? There she is. I see her behind the phone. Cheese. My baby. I love you.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Look.
Want me to read you the rest of the book? Do you remember what happens? She finds out his name and she gets to keep her baby. Because the baby is worth more than all the riches of all the world. Oh, you're going to press all the buttons. All the buttons on my phone.